Hello and welcome to today's episode of Filling the Gap, your one-stop shop for Pacers Gap Year coverage. I'm your host, Andrew Schreiner, and today we're breaking down the Pacers' loss in Dallas, their fourth consecutive to start the season. So today we're actually going to start before the game. They made a few roster moves since the matchup in Minnesota, and we have some injury updates. So Obi Toppin, who left the game against Minnesota with what was called right leg soreness, will miss several weeks with a foot injury, a stress reaction. Um, and so then the Pacers shuffled to help cover some of these injuries. The Pacers waived James Wiseman, so they are now down to three centers. And just a quick shout out to Tony Bradley for putting in work and doing a job, to just find a way to hang around and stay on a roster. A guy very few people expected to be with this team, not only made it to start the season, but now has survived a cut. And so good for him. So that cleared space for the Pacers to sign three-time reigning slam dunk contest champion Mac McClung to a standard contract. Now, that data point, his slam dunk contest championships, make him sound like a much more established NBA player. He only has played 6 NBA games. He spent most of his career in the G League, but he's been around a bit. He was getting ready to start the season with Chicago's G League team, but instead joined the Pacers in Dallas, and he got some action last night. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Pacers, they started strong out of the game. The Pacers started strong. They had a 14-point lead at 50-36 in the second quarter. And the thing that really stood out about their start was that defense was turning to offense. They were playing really good defense, getting turnovers, getting into transition. I believe they had 12 first quarter points off of turnovers, and they were looking pretty good despite not shooting the ball well. They were really dominating the possession battle. But Dallas did manage to cut the deficit to 3 by halftime, and that continued into the third. They really dominated that quarter. 29-19 to take a 7-point lead into the fourth, which they really maintained most of the quarter. Now, the Pacers did make a late rally. Some big shots from Siakam, from Walker, from Ray J. Dennis, who had another good night. And it looked like another classic Pacers comeback. So the Pacers were down 3 with about 6 seconds to go. They got a stop. They were out of timeouts. And we've seen that Rick likes to let his guys play anyway. So they bring the ball up. Ray J. Dennis had it. Dallas fouled him with 3 seconds remaining. They didn't want to give him the chance to put up a 3 to tie it. So he hit the first, but then intentionally missed the second. The ball kicked out perfectly to Aaron Nesmith, who could not sink the game-winning 3. And so the Pacers fell in Dallas 107-105, missing the buzzer-beater 3 that would have won it for them. There were some noteworthy performances individually. Pascal Siakam had 27 and 13, another double-double for him. However, he was 9 of 23 from the field and 7 of 12 from the free throw line. That has been a problem. His free throw shooting, and he missed some big ones in the fourth quarter that could have cut it. He got fouled on a 3-point attempt. He could have made it a single possession game with just a couple minutes to go. And when they were struggling, they were hovering around that 4 to 7 range for the last few minutes until finally, with about 30 seconds left, they got it to a single possession. So he had a good night statistically, but was a little inefficient. Jarris Walker, kind of the same. He had a career high 20 points, and he started last night. So it was good to see him in the starting lineup, getting some real minutes, some real opportunity. But he was 5 of 19. He missed 14 shots. Nesmith, only 2 of 16. He missed 14 shots. So Siakam, Walker, and Nesmith all missed 14 field goal attempts. They were very inefficient last night. The Pacers team shooting was very poor. They did get quality contribution from Ray J. Dennis once again, who had 17, 5, and 5. He's making me look like a bit of a fool. He's stepping in and playing pretty well, which is good to see. The team needs him. And then Mac McClung did look solid in his first minutes with the Pacers. He played 12 minutes, and he had 7 points in that time. He made some hustle plays on defense. I thought he looked like he fit. So just some takeaways. My 3 keys going into the game, which I do post on my Instagram, the podcast Instagram page before each game, were to win the possession battle. Pacers did that. They out rebounded Dallas on the offensive end 19-7, and they only had 12 turnovers to Dallas's 19. And so that's a total of 19 extra possession opportunities that the Pacers had. And you knew they were going to need that because this team just lacks the scorers right now. So they need to have a higher volume of shots and opportunities to be able to match up with the teams they're playing who are healthier. My second key, they needed to limit Anthony Davis. They did that, though not through their own good. Anthony Davis left in the first quarter with an ankle injury and did not return. And then my third key to the game was to get support from Walker and Nesmith. They got the points from Walker, though he was inefficient. They did not get the points from Aaron Nesmith. Again, 5 points, 2 of 16 shooting. He missed the game-winning 3. And that was the difference. If they would have gotten just a little bit more, they didn't even need him to be great. If he could have just been okay last night, they would have won the game. It is disappointing, but they continue to fight. And this team's going to get healthier, and that's going to open up opportunities for Siakam and Nesmith to be more efficient when you have Nembhard back in the lineup. It sounds like he might be the closest to returning. And when they get Matherin back eventually, Nesmith and Siakam will be able to be a bit more selective with their shots and get good looks and hopefully be more efficient. So next up, the Pacers are done with their road trip. They return to Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Friday to host the Atlanta Hawks in what is their first NBA Cup game. The game tips at 7 o'clock Halloween night. Atlanta's an exciting team this season. They made some big offseason moves, but they're 2-3 to start the season, and Trae Young left their game against Brooklyn on Wednesday with a right knee sprain, so I would expect he's not playing in Gainbridge. That's the start of a back-to-back, and so they host Golden State Saturday. This is an important opportunity for them coming back home. They need to get at least one of these to avoid an 0-6 start to the season. I think that Friday is the night to get it with a somewhat struggling Atlanta team that may be without their best player. So thank you for watching today's episode. I'll be back after Friday's game with a breakdown of what we hope this time is the Pacers' first win of the season, and maybe they can get 1-0 in the NBA Cup. So I'll see you next time.